So the most important thing about whatever that you do, is to never burn bridges, because there are people that we meet when we are still young and we youth, and we are thinking about how is it that they're gonna impact us when we grow up. But when you think about it and you think about the future, you really don't think they'll be there and they'll do what you want to be there. We grow up and we change lives. We grow up, we change where we met and how we met, things that we've been doing, etc., etc. So I think for now, the thing that comes to mind, it's my guest for today, because it's someone that we've been in different movements, be it through activism or music, even modeling. We've been doing everything together, and we just like grew apart because like he had to move to like a different city. I stayed and remained in the township, I remained in the hood. But after everything is done and everything has been said, today we are still here, and we are just going to have another intellectual conversation. And by so saying, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the IroC podcast. My name is IroC, and this is the Intellectual Relations of Consciousness. So today, I'm with one of the brothers that has been like following this podcast. Angazi ukuthi why. Maybe now also explain ukuthi kahle kahle bekaporwe yini, and stuff like that. But I'm really honored, for the support that he's been putting on, week in, week out. And one thing that I commend him for is he's not only just supporting, when critique needs to be given, he comes in and says, yo, Mfana, I think you need to adjust here and here. And for that, I truly, truly, truly appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sitting here with the multi-talented, from being like graphics designer, photographer, model, musician, I don't know what else this guy has done. He's an activist, he's been an artist, and that's what I appreciate about him. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kgaogelo, also known as Leso. What up, bro?
How's it, man? Hi, awesome stuff.
Yeah. How has it been? I'm almost done for this year. How has this year been, bro?
Hey, this year has been
2023.
2023. It's been a roller coaster. Had its own ups and downs, and a lot of people who have been achieving. You starting your podcast.
Sponge.
I'm one of the brothers also in the brotherhood, Senzo. The things as well. Garabo recently also got his honors,
Sure.
So a lot of people in the circle have been winning, of which, I feel like also with me and being an activist, I've been growing as I'm also in training as a project coordinator for the department at work, the ICT department. So I think it had a lot of ups and downs, but most of them are good.
Yeah. Otherwise, man, for those who don't know you, right? Okay, let me just do this minor adjustment. Ne?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I think that will be better. For those who don't know you, please just like introduce yourself to say, who's Kgaogelo, because some people know less. Some people have never met Kgaogelo. Some people just met Les, and some people just met Kgaogelo and never got to meet Les. So now I'm having the privilege of sitting with Kgaogelo Les. How's it?
Oh, well, to everyone, Kgaogelo Leso Gatubai. Born in the 98, somewhere in September the 1st, which people call it summertime, and it annoys me. um, um, well, about me, what can I say? Kgaogelo is a family-orientated man.
Yeah,
Very
man.
family-orientated gent. Always likes to achieve. And what can I say? Les is the creative
Sure.
that Kgaogelo built, and other people, obviously.
Yeah.
You included there, because I think Les was found by a lot of people, not only me and the creative part of Kgaogelo. No.
Sure.
So yeah.
And we met. Wait, did we meet before? Because okay, we were part of different movements, organizations. Did we meet before GYV? If we met before GYV, it would be via Equal Education. So when did we meet? Was it Equal Education or Gauteng Young Visions?
It was before that, actually. You know, at school we used to have peer support groups.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's how we met.
that's how we met.
Dude, I don't remember.
We used to have, remember, there were like those peer support groups whereby we just check around peers who come in late at school, try to find out the reason why they are late, try to find out all those things. And also,
You know what you're gonna do to the viewers. Now they're gonna think now as like that one kid on Afitlali to go school.
no,
even
it's
went in
not
like
like
different
that.
high
It's-
schools, guys.
It's not like that. It's not like that. He was also part of the peer group who
Yeah.
was assisting other kids. So
Sure.
yeah, so we were assisting like that. So we usually had meetings, go ERSA. If you still remember.
Oh, now it makes sense.
So we used
Now
to
I
have those
remember.
meetings, go
I remember
ERSA,
now.
whereby all the chairpersons and the secretaries would meet from different schools and discuss the way forward and how to, yeah.
Me, guys. I was always the one.
So that's how we met, and we moved to. That's how we actually met Captain SA,
Yeah.
or
Sbego.
Gauteng Young Vision, and later we then joined Equal Education, because we were the most active people in the
Yeah.
schools, and well, they noticed, and that's how we got into E. Because I think most with me at school, all the time they need people who are active, whether it's sports, whether it's
Sure.
whether it's with helping academics or anything. They would call me and say, no, we have this person, so they would put my name forward most of the time.
True.
So that's how I get to be part of those organizations, and yeah.
Did you end up becoming a president, Gomaboya?
Hey man, yeah. I ended up being the president of the school.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be president for a year, but I ended up being president for 2 years. I
Koala.
remember. Funny story. There was a kid, Alex Lekgogola. They used to call him Van Damme. Not sure if you still remember him. But the broer was in grade 9, I think, and I was doing grade 11.
Yeah.
So he was voted president then. And then when he was about to leave the school because he had to deal with some issues, he had to go to Limpopo.
Yeah.
And I was not even in the RCL. Surprisingly, I was part of the class reps almost throughout my whole high school year until grade 11, when Alex said, no, I feel like this guy is very active, I mean, grade 11, he's in grade 9, but then he noticed that this guy is active.
Oh wow! What
He
a true
qualifies.
leader, man.
He qualifies to be like the president of the school, and
Yeah.
they had to put it into votes when we got there, because there were other 3 people who were already nominated to be, and when they voted, it was like an internal vote within the RCL, and they said, no, you are our president.
Yeah.
And I became president. The following year, obviously matric, you can't be president. Surprisingly,
You
I was
made it.
president. Yeah.
But President Yako Maboya High School, during our era, one of the schools in Davidson that you didn't have to mess around with was your high school, man.
Yes, sir. Like, it's being the president of that school was not the easiest thing. It was not easy.
Yeah.
Because when you're a president, they're always expecting a bash from you. They're expecting certain things that, well, most of them, they are out of your control. And you know very well that there were these things of gangs within my school.
Sure,
And
sure.
if you mess up with one person, there's that one group which I won't mention because,
Please don't.
yeah,
Not
there's there's
don't.
always those groups that will come for you. And
Yeah.
it was, I wouldn't say it was a fun thing, but for them it looked like it's a fun thing. But if you can meet the people now, like most of them, they have changed.
True.
You know, so
Very
I
true.
feel like it was a phase or a stage that I think we also go through at some point. That if you do something to me, I mean, we did it differently.
Yeah.
If you do something to me on stage, then I come to you, I write a diss track. You know,
That's
how we
our
used
way.
to do it. And then their way was to use violence in a way. So it was not easy being the president of the school.
Yeah.
And also there were demands. Girls would demand hairstyles of which
That's also out of your control.
it's out of my control, but at some point, and I feel like people are gonna say because it's women you made it happen, but that's not true. Because even myself, you remember at some point when I finished matric, I had an afro.
Yes.
So I couldn't do some hairstyles because they would say it's not allowed in school.
Yep.
But then at some point I realized that it's me who's coming to school and not my hairstyle. It's actually my brain that is coming to school. So we tried to talk about it, how girls dress and how teachers feel like girls should dress. I mean, we didn't fight for mini skirts to be,
Yeah.
approved, but they were grey trousers. My school didn't allow girls to wear grey trousers.
For real.
But as boys, we could, wear grey trousers, simply because the teachers felt like grey trousers are too revealing, and now it was a problem of who, the teacher or the learner. I mean, if I'm from a primary school, we're wearing grey trousers, we can't afford dickies and stuff. That's when I actually started being part of the peer support group. So those were the challenges we were trying to deal with. That, because sometimes it's you might take it as a teacher, you might take it as I'm trying to reprimand this kid, I'm trying to show this kid a direction, but then that kid would feel uncomfortable, would feel like you are body shaming them because now you're like, you can't wear a grey trouser because you look a certain way, it's too tight, it's too this, it's too that. So it then becomes a bit of a problem. So we were fighting those things, and I think they ended up allowing girls to have their hairstyles.
Oh, so it was a thing of, okay, maybe we can't allow grey trousers, so we'll allow the hairstyle in order for girls to forget a bit about grey trousers and focus more on the hairstyle.
That's the route I tried taking with a lot of other people who were, I think, also Ntantla Mashego. He was also part of the RCL team then. So that's the route we took, trying to say that. But then in matric, I mean, they are allowed because you see, they go to register. Like, this is the life they're gonna experience in when they get to university.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the life they're gonna experience. I mean, and if you don't allow them to do that now, by the time they get to varsity, then they start feeling the pressure, of which I feel like that's one of the things that created this whole thing that when kids get to varsity, then they go all crazy for new hairstyles, new this, new that, because we don't experience doing them when we are still growing, So if you give them a chance, at least in matric, and then when someone is there with like their frontal, it's just a thing of, oh, that looks nice, but I think I look better in my.
Yeah, it's for them to it's more or less the age where we're starting to become content with who we are.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, it's not everyone. I mean, but they are still like jajara a bit, and they wanna try out. They're still trying to figure out.
True.
And nothing wrong
There's
with that.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, for some people it's early, some people it's late. But I mean, that's what it is. We actually skipped that part, and we're not gonna go back.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go back. I feel like I've asked this a lot of times, and you've watched all the episodes, so probably like whatever question I hoy, you kind of know the answer.
I touched it so that you can forget about it. That's why it moved away a bit from.
Where the
But I'm the one that moved away because
yeah.
yeah.
But you know when you're talking man, about gangs and lot of gents enjoyed like that part. I'll tell you one thing that I think I was in grade 11 when I started to realize like why there was that big gang. You know, you remember in Davidson there was like that
Yeah.
one massive huge, and most of them are from Maingambi. And reason is we don't have facilities for the youth, and I felt like most of them it was a thing of they're bored, and when they're like asambe so social less asambe so landa lentwana le yasemabuya asambe so landa le president yasemabuya, it's a thing of okay, at least today I know there's something I'll be doing, so I'm going to attack. You know, that's why a lot of them you wouldn't see them participating in a lot of things, but if they're like siyemabuya vandag, they'll actually pull up. You know, not because like they were gangsters and stuff like that. It's because they needed form of entertainment. You know, and that's where for a lot of us music came into place. You know, and we were part of like different youth movements. You know, we spoke a bit about GYV. You know, I want us to touch on the psycho dudes. Hey, John, a little slecht. Like you guys, you terrorize the hip hop game in Davidson, bro. You guys are the reason why we don't have Davidson hip hop awards. What was that era about, bro?
Hey man, you know when you are you can't take. I feel like there are people who are also still experiencing that. I had a conversation with some brother from Equal Education,
Yeah.
who told me that he fought with his manager because
Eish.
the manager is not treating them well and bamfaki tayera because of that.
Uh,
Like when you're an activist and you see things happening unfairly, you know, like we're always fighting for equality out here. So
no, kancane. Shout out to Daniel Pokomela, aka Daddy D. Thanks, man. Shout out.
yeah, those awards. So yeah, Psycho Dudes. So Psycho Dudes was the crew in Davidson. I mean, we used to rap with Boyang Stunna.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to him. It's his birthday today.
Oh, for real?
For sure.
Happy birthday, Stunna.
So yeah, we used to rap with Boyang Stunna. Daddy D used to host Fantuka sessions.
Yeah, he did a
And
lot of events for Davidson.
So Daddy D used to host Fanduka sessions. Stunna was still in Mighty Kings. There were
Yeah.
a lot of artists. So there was a thing between like I wouldn't even call it a thing because it's just the Mighty Kings
Yeah.
coming with girls. And
Mighty
then
Queens.
Mighty Queens for sure. And then Mighty
an
Queens end up vibing with Psycho Dudes, and then it becomes a problem in a way.
Sure.
And yeah, after that, it was a thing of okay, how do we then try to make this thing work for Kasi, for entertainment and the thing.
Sure.
So we didn't, as Psycho, we didn't see it as beef that is being created,
Yeah.
but we saw it as like a thing that we can try and grow the whole movement of rap in Davidson.
Sure.
Because when Mighty Kings are on stage in Tsakani, we there hyping them up on stage.
True,
We're on
man.
stage with them, but we get to Davidson, we having that kabaraba ting nyana,
Sorry to cut you short. It's funny. Remember how a lot of people were beefing with Stunna?
Exactly.
And then Stunna made it to the game. And then everyone got it. Dude,
Like the young Stunna.
I don't come across anyone right now who's talking like bad about young Stunna.
Exactly.
But when he was still like Kokas, they were like,
That's boy. I mean, it's yeah. So with the awards, we felt like the awards were being unfair. I mean, we used to release now and then.
oh,
We used to, Psycho Dudes used to release. I mean, Shout out to Josie as well, who
And then the
started
pool
this whole thing.
parties, bruh.
We used to host as well.
The pool
But
parties.
all the like even the hosters of the awards, they used to come to the awards, to the pool parties, but
Sure.
zero recognition for us until we raised it, and that's when they started noticing some of our
Your
some
work.
of our artists and some of our work,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the likes of EST Maloya. They started recognizing, and he was nominated. He got an award, but then he
Rebel, that one.
yeah, and then he still showed them a middle finger, because he felt like there's a lot of people you were supposed to recognize in the group, and
Yeah.
you didn't. We didn't even make it to the nominees. Like not even one hip hop awards event I've attended. Not because I'm jealous or anything,
Yeah.
but I felt like if you're not gonna recognize the work that we do, you you always do, events, and then you put us on many more, even though you can see that we bring numbers to the
Dude.
events. So that's when I was like, okay. And then I think, which is some of the thing that you mentioned about young Stunna and people hating him. I don't think it was only him, but everywhere, Las Vela corner, as kids who do rap music.
Yeah.
No, they say, these cats, abo yo yo, the name calling.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a thing of not, when we grow up, there's that one brother or one uncle who will just sit you down and say, you must listen to this music.
Sure.
You must listen to deep house. You must listen to kwaito. You must listen to all those type of music. And you can't be listening to hip hop. What is this? I feel like that's where most of our problems come from. That's where, apart from facilities that we don't have in the hood, obviously,
Sure.
that's where most of the problem comes from, because there's an uncle who's dealing with their own problems, their own mental issues, depressions, and they drink 365, and then they tell Umshana, you can't be listening to hip hop. What is this?
Nah.
And then Umshana be like, oh, then uncle yaphuma, ushaya impama estradini, ushaya impama komfazi. And then the Mshana be like, this is actually cool. I mean, I look up to my uncle. He listens to this music. I listen to this music. And then they come across
yeah.
us. Now it's a problem.
Oh yeah.
Which is why if Shayang is Tina and you're part of that group, and then you come and fetch me and wrap me up real quick.
Dude, angifuni ukukhuluma ngala group job because a lot of them, bruh, I've crossed paths with, but in so doing, being in the psycho dudes, right? There are two things y'all you were doing. Firstly, is the noise you guys were making. Okay, besides being loud, ne? Y'all were loud, right? But you'd make like legit noise. Like if there's an event and you want your ticket to sell, right? You should include psycho dudes somewhere somehow in it, because you know that they'll make noise about it, like on the streets, even umfundo, bruh, like on Twitter, that on Facebook, like
Yeah.
would post about an event like every day. That guy would post. When it comes to like production, Ace there, Josie there, bruh, you guys like made the noise. And then the responsibility part about it, right, is to make sure that everyone is safe. How important was that?
I mean, safety was a challenge. I don't want to lie. Let's take, for instance, the last pool party we hosted.
Yeah, I wanted to go there, actually.
Yeah, the last pool party we hosted, it was, hey man, it was crazy, because a lot of stuff happened there.
Sure.
So there was a lot of brands in Davidson. There was a lot of this. So we never thought of safety like that. So like you're saying, Mfundo used to post, Josie used to do this. Josie was actually the one who's good in organizing. He still is with organizing an event.
Yeah.
Because he can imagine something and put it out there. Then Mfundo, he's very good with marketing. And then A is obviously, like you said, producing. Then I'm there, I can bring the numbers, you know.
Are you guys one hell of a
So
team, Joe?
that whole thing, we never thought of safety all the time. We never thought of safety. So
It was
we
more
would be-
fun.
It was more fun than, because we're thinking, the only safety measure we would take is,
Yeah.
where do we take this event? Babaso, we can't. The sides where they usually host Fanduka, it's a bit safe, it's quiet.
Yeah.
But what happens if the session or the show ends at 10? It's going to be tricky. So we're like, nope, let's move to Medicine. Medicine is...
Sure.
So the last pool party, we hosted Lapeng Village and we had bouncers, everything. But for some weird reason, there were brewers who got mugged,
Eish.
who were selling tickets. I don't think it was something that was planned, maybe because of the hype we created around the show. It was just those brewers trying their luck, took the phones, took the tickets, then they saw that the tickets actually, it's an event happening now. So they came, guns blazing. So we had to leave the event. The owner of the place said, guys,
Obviously, you can't continue
exactly.
after like such a thing.
So we had to stop the event. Meanwhile, it was like a lot of them in the group.
Yeah.
So when we had to leave, we had problems. We decided that, no, guys, we're going to go to front seats, DKNY.
Yeah.
It was still called front seat then. So we had to go there. So some of them heard, or no, they're moving somewhere else. Sure. We were only fighting for our safety at that point in time, which is something we never thought of. So we thought any location, any groove location, we go there.
Yeah.
So on our way there, they started, like, they were in corners, like each and every corner that you would think of. Like there's Kgaogelo sides, there were people.
I'm thinking all the routes from like Lapeng to DK. Yeah.
Exactly. So there are people, let's not say DK, let's say Francis.
Francis, yeah, back then.
So we go there and it's crazy. Like there's people now, there are okapis, there's like everything there that you could think of that could hit someone.
Bruh, those guys carried pangas.
Exactly. So I'm there, we are walking with the likes of Setones, RIP. So we're walking there, and at night they tried their luck also with me. I remember I lost my watch that they bought for me. And they took the watch, they couldn't get my phone because, I tried hiding it. So safety was not something that we really think of. Because I remember we ended up sleeping at Gosnati's crib.
Yeah.
In the morning, the grandmother was not happy with us sleeping on her couches. She was not happy at all. But that brewer, it was like 8 of us in the dining room, and then there were other people in the rooms outside. So Gosnati really helped. And we thought if maybe we put people that they are familiar with in the dining room and in the couches, it's going to be better. But it wasn't. It wasn't. But it was a good experience, I'm telling you.
That's the redemption part about it. It's because, sure, we had a lot of fun, but it wasn't like danger fun. It's not like you all were intentionally putting your lives at risk or putting other people's lives at risk. And probably if you go back now, like there's a lot of change like that you do. But obviously, times have like moved on, and like now it's a different scene altogether. In terms of like the fun the teenagers are having right now, it's a different scene that we can't even like tap into. Then came equal education, bruh. From the grassroots level, before facilitators, we were all equalizers. Bruh, the fun. Were you at VETS 2018?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I came to VET on the first night, but
I remember.
Yeah, I had to go back.
Guess who was I with? Like who did I share a room with?
Let's see. Are they from
Kokasi?
From Kokasi?
Yeah.
Mfundo,
bro. I was supposed to have like a room alone, ne? And then the guy who was sharing a room, Mfundo, nebasa utlusisani pila. I was like, dude, you can take my room. I'm alone in there.
Was it the Congress?
Yeah, Congress. Second annual Congress. Bruh. That guy is actually smart, eh? And he knew how to make noise. I remember there was one day, I think it was second day. So people were sleeping. Me and him. I'm thinking of his ringtone, Nelly, number A Masole.
When Fundo likes weird sounds for ringtones, at some point it was the 70 land sound.
For real?
For real.
So we wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and it's winter, it's cold, people are sleeping, and it's vets, people are studying, and we're on the medical faculty side. So people are in serious studies that side. We open the windows good morning, comrades. The time is 5 o'clock. And that was equal education. It was a thing of aselanga la ukuzolala,
True.
We were there to advocate for equality and quality education, How do you relate, man? Why were you there actually? Let's start there.
Like I said, I was being chosen every time there's something happening at school.
Sure.
They would put my name forward, of which I think equal education, that's where political awareness came
into place.
It came into place in my life.
Yeah.
Because obviously we were helping with kids who are struggling there and there. But then it was a thing that you have to do it through the department. I mean, we can't get uniform without the department.
Sure.
We can't. So when I got to EE and I started learning that, I'm thinking that my situation is bad at school because I walk you know very well I used to walk from Scotty to Mabuya. That was 45 minutes walk, if not an hour. Every day, So every time when you go to school, the sun is here, you come back, the sun is here, always. There's no way because the sun starts from this side, goes that side. So every time when we did tilanga, So it was a thing of, go EE. It was an experience whereby I started to learn that there's someone who's in a class that is built of mud. There's someone who's in a class or in a school, but under the tree, And I started seeing the inequality within not only the education, but also in the system at large, because we always think the problems that we are facing are education. We always think that, it made me focus on the education side more often, but at some point with the content that was there and as I was doing my research, I started realizing as well that it's not only based on education. There are bigger problems that we face as a country, and of which I think that political awareness also grew where I am right now.
Sure.
Kenya College.
Sure. Sure.
It's mind blowing. Like some of the things you will learn there.
I think what we did as equalizers was far beyond whatever that we thought we could do, man.
True. I mean, I never thought I'd be part of a campaign that would help a lot of kids in schools. I mean, we know that we did the campaigns, the Windows campaign.
Sure.
We did the water campaign with equal education, whereby we were just checking the sanitation, how's the sanitation in the schools. And I think even now, I'm not part of equal education, but there are group chats that I'm still part of, whereby I see the footprint that we left, where they send that, no, this has been fixed, this has been fixed, this has been done, So the experience at equal education, it's...
You can't entirely leave equal education, Joe.
You can't.
You can't, even though some people were equal education, blah, 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 but no one has ever been okay, I'm leaving this thing for good. and like deleted everything and said, I want, like, there's only like few people,
very few people.
very few people who were like,
Very few
I want nothing to do with this, but equal education, man, especially if you come with it from like
From an equalizer level.
bro, it's hard to leave that space
I mean,
because
it was sorry to catch you as well.
Sure.
It was being the transition of being an equalizer to facilitator.
Yeah.
Trust me, as an equalizer, you learn a lot, ne?
Sure.
And after learning, you get stuck into the lessons and how they do things when you're an equalizer. And somehow, when you become a facilitator, you always stay into those.
Yeah. So tell me, who, this might be a bit controversial, but anyway, we're doing it. Who was your favorite facilitator?
Favorite facilitator?
Yeah.
So I must mention one. Okay, and then I'll mention two on the other question. It's fine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No, you can mention two here. That side, we only need one, bruh.
No, let me mention one. Okay, it's fine. Rules are rules. I think my favorite facilitators would be Tepo Pila.
Yeah?
It's Tepo Pila and Joseph, because back then I was an equalizer. So one thing that I liked about Joseph is that Joseph was the hype man.
Yeah.
Joseph knew how to bring kids. Joseph knew how to come up with icebreakers. Joseph knew the content of equal education
Sure.
like that. Then Tepo Pila is one person who would keep you focused and teach you a lot of new things, a lot of how this works, a lot of where to get certain things, So Tepo Pila was my facilitator for like years. I think 2, if not 3 years. And then Joseph also came to facilitate at some point. But some of the things I learned through Tepo Pila are, even today, I'm still using some of those things. So
True.
Yeah.
Tell you what, when that era of facilitators, there's something very cool about them, right? I don't know who, right, was the first facilitator, who got literally the entire squad, right, of like artists to come and become facilitators, right? But I'm sure there's just one who discovered equal education, and I was like, "Excellent, Asambin," And from there, I remember when I first came in, I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's some Jiva Rasmus, yeah." I was like, "That's ESD, yeah." How? "Hi, man, that's Ace, yeah." That's Mfundo, yeah. I'm like, "That's Jaws, yeah."
It was a thing of let's see what year, 2013, if not 14, we went to a camp as equalizers. Josie was a facilitator then.
Sure.
Kalahari, if you still remember Kalahari.
Oh man.
Ace. So they were in a group. That was before Psycho Dudes.
Okay.
They were in a group called Vault Fam.
Oh, so I think I remember Vault.
They used to dance. They used to.
Oh yes.
They used to rap.
Who's the guy who's a photographer now?
BR.
No, not.
There's BR who's
the guy who slept at his house after the pool party.
Nkosnati.
Yeah, Vault.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were Vault. They were Vault.
Yeah.
Fam, and then there was Garabo, Senzo, and myself.
Sure.
Came into the group, and then we became.
Yeah.
What you might call this? We became Heavenly Vault.
Sorry, Megs, can you please check on this if it's still. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, because we were. Garabo, Senzo, and I. We were not rapping. We were not doing anything, but we used to call ourselves Heavens. I won't share the story behind the word Heavens. Yeah, but we used to call ourselves Heavens. So when we got to the crew, the song Issue. Okay. The song Issue became, the hit song, and we became Heavenly Vault, and that's when this whole thing of artists within equal education started, because we had to have a talent show the last night of the camp. So there
Okay.
was a talent show. And then when we get back to Kasi, we show people that we were performing. Everyone, there's this hype now around the broers who performed there.
Yeah.
Then it grew, that hype. When that hype grew, then that's when a lot of artists joined equal education, because there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of school kids who do you sell a ticket to for an event? To the
School
kids.
kids.
So it was another form of marketing, of which that's where I fell in love with what I'm doing, marketing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So it was a thing of we learned that.
Yeah.
Well, we have school kids. They're the ones who attend events, and if we sell tickets to them, we're gonna be happy, all of us.
Sure. Let's take a pause and I will be back. All right. So then there was a time in your life you became a model.
Yes, sir.
What group were you part of?
When I started my modeling,
Yeah.
I was riding solo. I think on your event, there was an event that you hosted. You still remember you hosted an event?
Bro, I did give an Easter egg one, and then I did give an Easter egg two.
The first one whereby we had also model Tesh.
Oh yeah.
So I was doing modeling all along, doing modeling.
Sure.
But I was just riding solo.
Yeah.
Then on that event, I got a chance to link up with model Tesh.
Sure.
We started talking, and I think there's a picture that I usually send to you and him of that day. Yeah, that. Yeah. We were young and we didn't know anything that we were doing.
But we did it.
We did it either way.
Yeah.
So that's when I met Tesh, and I was fighting to be part of the ERG, not ERC but ERG, and
Yeah.
obviously he's never seen me modeling, doing.
Sure.
But then he never gave up on just
Yeah.
trying to see me. But it was like, but there's no point. ERG is not there anymore. There's now ERC.
Yeah.
I want to be part of the Eastern Gentlemen, not
The classics.
not the classics. And it didn't work out.
Sure.
But in a way, it worked out for me because Tesh then became my mentor.
Yeah.
And that's when he started teaching me things, how to do modeling, how to behave, how to discipline myself as a model.
Yep.
And that's when I started doing a lot of other competitions, That's when I became the face of Tsakane.
One hood that we terrorized
Yeah.
as Davidson models.
Exactly. So at some point I became Mr. Mayfield, not the Mayfield Square, but Mr.
Mr. Mayfield, yeah.
Yeah. So that was, through Tesh. And then Josie came saying we need to, restructure psycho dudes.
Yeah.
And also I also had this idea that we need to find something
Sure.
that is going to bring our kids
Yeah.
or the youth, good Davidson, a step closer to their artistic dream, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's when we started coming together, like Josie's music side, Lariz's producing side,
Wow.
me and my modeling. We came together, we built Black Panda. So
Oh,
Black
okay.
Panda,
That's how it came about.
Black Panda Creatives Clan.
Oh.
So it was
okay.
a clan of a lot of creatives that came together.
Black Panda wasn't just about modeling.
It was not just about modeling. Hence, most of the time when you find us on stage, we are either performing with one of our artists' song. We never performed unless we in an
Smart,
event
bruh.
somewhere.
Smart.
So we performed all the time with our artists. So the song would play in the background,
Sure.
or the artist. There's a brewer who was featured now in the Lucky Star collab.
Yeah.
The designer designed by Tseho.
Bruh.
He used to help us a lot as Black Panda.
Sure.
So we used to most of the time wear his gears on stage.
And he moves nice ones, eh?
Exactly. So we with his designs, he was not part of Black Panda Clan, but with
Yes.
his designs,
Yes.
and our models and our artists, Black Panda became big, became what people hated.
And tell me, I remember Utesh Unjunju, because I get right to Utesh.
Yes.
So
yes.
now I have the privilege that I've worked with this one and I've also worked with this one. We're at Tsakane. I think it was the last day I went on stage half naked. Remember, I used to be that.
Yeah. You liked to do things that I don't know,
Yeah, man.
at some point I wanted to call you Mr. Top Off. Sorry.
This was your last strike, ne?
Yeah.
Remember, I told you that keep on making jokes. I'll do some.
Yeah, it was the last one, but we are almost there.
Oh, okay, make one last joke.
Sorry.
So it was a thing of Nerelko Tsakane, by the way. One township that Davidson models always terrorized, you know. So it was the last day I went on stage, and I remember me and him were talking about discipline and being conscious about your environment, because the day, oh wait, hey, things I almost said here. But yeah, when we left, there were some things that happened, and I was like, oh, okay. And it was like, dude, you see this thing of you and like going on stage topless. There are things you're not gonna be able to achieve in life, you know. And how much of discipline did you learn from the guy?
Okay. There's a lot of discipline that I've learned from.
From him and modeling also.
Yes.
Yeah.
From modeling, one of the things that I've learned is respect for
Sure.
everyone.
Sure.
Everyone. Because you don't know who's looking, People are always watching out there.
Yeah.
So you never know who's watching, you never know who's not watching. So that's one thing that I've learned. And then there's this thing of how to behave on stage,
Sure.
how to behave off stage, and how to behave. I'd say I learned how to be a gentleman around Tesh and modeling at large. Because,
Yes.
I mean, it's no secret that model Tesh Africa has been in a relationship with one person for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I still call them my mom and dad till this day.
Nice.
And so that's one thing that I've also learned from them, like how to make your relationship work with everything that is happening around you. I mean, when you get on stage,
Yes.
obviously you attract a lot of girls because you're a model. Some of them are there for love, some of them are there for the fame, some of them are just there for the experience. So it then becomes a difficult thing to deal with. How do you deal with girls? Are you going to
Yeah.
date all of them?
Yeah.
You date all of them. Next time you're on stage, they boo you on stage, you lose your focus. You date all of them, you send a link, please vote for me. They don't vote for you because you broke their hearts.
Sure.
So those are some of the things that I've learned, of which that's when Tabang said to me, Les, I think it's time now. You start your own thing. You are able to call. I received training from Model Tesh on how to become a model coach.
Wow.
So that's why most of the time when I introduced myself on stage, I would say I'm a model instructor and a model coach.
Sure.
Because instructing and coaching are two different things. When I instruct you to model, I tell you how to walk. But when I'm
Yes.
coaching you now, I become your life coach. I tell you how to behave, what to do on stage and off stage.
Yes.
And it became to a point whereby when it came to Black Panda, I wouldn't mind going to your parents as a model because we used to have about 32 female models, 13 gents. Yeah, 13 gents and 32 female models.
Oh.
So it was not an easy thing to deal with girls. Most of them are almost my age. So-
Teenagers. They are teenagers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult thing to do most of the time. So we used to deal with that, and I had to now discipline them and say, no, you're not gonna go on stage for the next coming 3 events because you misbehaved. You were smoking weed there in that corner.
Oh.
You were doing this. I mean, when we go to events, there are people who are watching.
Yep.
Designers are there.
Yeah.
Sponsors are there, and you are just there doing your own thing. And they're like, no, there's no discipline in this organization. So if you're not only killing your talent, but obviously and the organization as well. So that's when I also had to instill discipline into others.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry to cut you short. I wanted to introduce this, right? we're not just chilling with. Some of you, you know Kgaogelo, others you know Leso, and I know both, and they are both a gone gent, right? How much of that discipline pushed you into you saying, okay, I'm willing to make such big moves, man, in a relationship?
Hey man, what can I say? It's no secret that as a rapper, we live very fast lives.
Yep.
It's the thing of how many people, how many girls you are always around you,
Yeah.
and all of that. And obviously, as teenagers, it's things are happening, and obviously, sometimes you find yourself home alone, and
Yes.
you just try to
You just
try your
scroll
luck.
through your contacts.
Exactly, and you
Five will
say,
pop
"Are you
up.
free? Come through." And it was a crazy experience because it went to a point whereby me and my cousin at some point, which I won't mention his name, we tried to play a tournament of who's gonna bring most hands in a week, to the hood. Doesn't matter what you do, but who's gonna bring most hands in a week. We had like legit scoreboard.
Yeah.
So that's how fast the life was. So at some point, even with the person I'm with now, it went to a point whereby she was warned that, are you sure you want to do this
Yeah.
with that brew?
With that brew.
And it was a time where I wanted to change so bad. Like I just wanted to change because there are other aspects. I think we spoke about it today when
Before
I
the
came in,
shoot.
before the shoot that some of the things that will change or maybe change how you look at things. It's that one moment when you get to the doctor, you get to the clinic, and then they tell you, let's come test you, and then you start thinking of everything that you did
Yep.
back then, and then you start seeing that no, I was messing up, and as soon as the results come, and then you see that no, I'm fine, then that's when you will see that no, I don't want this stress anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stick to one person, and you keep it that way. Those are some of the aspects that play a very big role into someone. Because even before the relationship that I'm in now, I tried to get myself into a serious relationship. I think we committed for some years, close to 2.
Nice.
And then things happened, didn't work out. I was like, okay, probably it was just, payback for everything that I was
You've
doing.
done, yeah.
Yeah, so I took it like that, and I was like, okay, it's fine. We try again. It fails,
Sure.
we try again. Some of them lasted 2 weeks, some of them lasted 3 months, but I kept on trying to say,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cheat. Some of them would tell me, this relationship, yeah, bora, this is that, and I took it like a man that I want to be.
The problem wasn't you. The problem was you were so disciplined that some of the people you met are still used to getting boys that are toxic.
Yeah, I think it's a thing of now they tell you, this brewer is doing this and that, and then when you get there, the brewer has changed. It's no longer doing that, and then you think, okay,
This is not
brewer,
what I was looking
this
for.
is not the
Yeah.
one. It's not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for that crazy brewer.
Sure.
So, hence, you see now there's a less of les that you see on Facebook. There's less that you see of the model les essay on Facebook or any
Yes.
socials. Because in a way, I'm trying to rebrand,
Yeah.
still do the same things, but rebrand, because when someone mentions model les essay, you're already thinking, hey, it's that problem.
Yeah.
And that is working too well. Again, thanks to where I am currently, Kanya.
Sure.
They really helped me. It's also a thing of being told that it's not that always you should be on the front line of things.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be always you're a model, you're behind the camera, you're a model coach. You can be a model coach, but sending someone to do your rehearsals, having someone to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 for you, and
Instead of you doing everything.
yes.
So, for you know what the Nominator Hero segment is about, right? But I'm just thinking, right, because there'll be always someone new watching this and they won't know, right? So, if you're new and you never watched this episode, Nominate a Community Hero. It's a segment that the IroC podcast created. It's all about giving flowers where they are due. It's putting people who have done the work, on the spotlight to say thank you on behalf of like everyone else who has been following this platform. I just want to say thank you, for the work that you are doing. But the catch to it is I do not actually nominate the community hero, but I allow my guest to nominate a community hero for this week, and they tell us why. So without further much, Les, who's your community hero, bro? I know you wanted to nominate like a lot of people. I know, man. But only one.
Only one person. It's put me on the spot right there. But yeah, there's a lot. Like I said,
Yeah.
I have a hero for each and everything that I did. But I think most of you guys, I mentioned you, and
Throughout the conversation.
conversations. But my hero, my community hero, I think this person did a lot for the working class community at large, and I think he built this new person and these whole ideas and sharpened my political awareness.
Yeah.
So that would be the late comrade Opali Hulere, who used to be the director of Kanya College.
Ish.
I think at first I went to Kanya just to be a monitor. And a funny story, I would watch his interviews on Morning Lives, when you are preparing for school.
Yeah.
Then there's a heater, you run to the dining room for the heater, you dressing up. And then I'm watching interviews about the book fair, the event I told you that we were having. So I used to watch him on TV making interviews about the book fair, about Kenya College, what kind of a space Kenya is. And then I got to meet him and I was like,
wow.
there's this brew. And
Wow.
after that, it became a thing of he's teaching me now how to behave and teaching me how to. I mean, he has a lot of writings as well.
Yes.
Online.
Yes.
You can also find them anywhere on the websites. There's his websites for his writings. But my favorite of them all, which made me realize, of which is also what the work of Kanya is, of which is it's like Kanya is an NGO, by the way. It's an NGO that is focusing on helping the communities, working class communities, with social injustices that they're facing.
Oh, nice.
So there's this one writing that he wrote. It's like an article he wrote some years ago, The Corruption of a Dream.
Sure.
Which made me realize that we always think, our problems are poverty, our problems are crime, our problems are, how the things that they feed us. The problem we have today, we are facing in the community is always, how they are. It's unemployment. It's. But then when you read that paper, then you start to realize that the main thing or the main source of all these problems that are happening, it's actually the system and how the dream that we had that after voting, after this and this and that, and then things are going to change for the better, was corrupted by the people who were there, from the ministers of finance who decided to then take or carry out the budget speech that was used back then, and then they came with that budget speech, and they used the very same budget, followed the very same system, even in what do we call it, the democracy era.
Yeah.
So they did that. So those are the things that I appreciate from him, and also the fact that he taught me how to write articles, of which when we go to Karibu, you'll find a lot of articles that we write from Kenya as part of Kenya College.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I would really forever appreciate, and a lot of teachings and the opportunities he gave me. I'm a graphic designer today, doing layouts and design for Kanya book covers. Not long ago in our book fair, James Matthews was signing a book
Yes.
that I created the cover for at
Wow,
the
that's
age of
nice, man.
93 years old. Yeah, at the age of 93, he was signing that book and wrote a nice message for me.
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, so it's all because of Comrade Opa Lefulere.
Let me tell you, one of the craziest things, man, like the most exciting part about where I'm at right now is to have a book and then meeting up with the author.
Imagine, like
Bruh.
that. You see, James Matthews, man. Funny story.
Yeah.
I met James Matthews 2019 when the collab between Equal Education and Kenya College. Well, that's when I started being aware of it.
Yeah.
I was just a monitor, and we went there. It was hot. We were there in the sun, and we were just directing people where to go.
Yeah.
We were waiting for umbrellas to come. Finally, Comrade Oba himself organized gazebos. That's another thing I like about him. He's always
Yes.
hands on. It's not a person of, I'm in the management, I'm not gonna touch 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
He's hands on. So you saw that way in the sun. He organized gazebos. They told us umbrellas are coming.
Yeah.
And they were still preparing. So as time went by, he came with gazebos, like, guys, have these gazebos.
Here are gazebos,
This will
yes.
end, and then you guys will be in the shadow. And then once you guys are done, you will just take them across the street, and then they will then use them again, those people who are doing catering. But for now, because there's
nice,
no food,
man.
there's no this, you can. So they then sent me, go and fetch James Matthews. James Matthews. Who's James Matthews? I got there, it was his 90th birthday.
Oh.
Then. Was it 90 or 91? But somewhere there.
Because it's 93 now, it should have been 89.
Yeah, because it was 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go there, I fetch him. So he's old. You see the age, ne?
Sure.
And he's working with was it the one with 3 legs? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that crutch with 3 legs. So he's working with it. And then he saw the stairs. Africa Museum has a ramp and the stairs.
Yes.
So he wanted to use the stairs. I had to convince him otherwise. Because I knew that, he said he's strong. He
Yeah.
can still do it, I tried to convince him otherwise, but then I didn't win.
He still went up the stairs.
We had to go through the stairs. And I didn't even know that he's James Matthews. They just said, go and fetch Mr. James Matthews. And I went there to fetch him. They didn't know he's an author. I didn't know anything about him.
Wow.
And then that's one thing that's another person, but I had to mention one. But he is a strong bro even now at this age. He can still write at 93.
Wow.
He can do a lot of things. He still exercises even now. And
That's
those are the
proper,
things.
man.
Those are the things that I feel like I want to, when I get to that age.
Uh-huh.
At some point I used to think, when I get to that age, I just want
Sure.
to sign a contract with someone that when I'm 75, fire me on the head with one. But after seeing people like James Matthews, seeing people like,
It's motivating.
it's motivating
pushing
me
you, yeah.
that, if you treat yourself well,
Yes.
if you read, I mean, it's not only like exercising, but then
Yeah.
if you read, you are always aware of the world, of what's happening around you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you will be this person who will grow and live
Yeah.
a soft life even when you are old.
So tell me, how much of this contributed into you becoming an active community member, and you becoming not just but being also like politically aware
Oh,
as we're closing it off.
so, like I mentioned, Mr. Opa Lefulere, Comrade Opa Lefulere. So one thing that he taught me, you do not have to be, I mean, as a graphic designer or as a layout and design person, well, I'll design a cover for a community book. Maybe say people wrote something. For instance, I designed the Karibu newsletter. We have a newsletter.
Yes.
So design the newsletter. It goes, Karibu usually writes stories of the communities as they are, because mainstream media sometimes
Yes,
is taking.
they filter
So
stuff.
Karibu doesn't filter anything. I do the layout, I give it out. That is me. But no one knows who did that unless you read the imprint and you try and search who wrote that, who designed that, you know. So Comrade Opa taught me that you don't have to be in the front line of everything
Yeah,
in order for you to, do your to say you did your bit for the community.
sure.
So that's when I started saying, okay, I can do 1, 2, 3 for the community. Even if it's not that I am doing it, but giving an idea to you to
Yes.
use, an idea to someone who's, or giving a start to someone who's trying to achieve something.
Yeah,
A brood comes, I need to do a brand. I want to start my own brand.
sure.
I want to start 1, 2, 3, and 4. I do have an idea with branding, how to do it. I'll give you a start. That's when the community leader came into place, when I started to do things go Kanya. Okay, even before with Black Panda, and
Yeah,
we were doing those things, but I didn't see it that way. But then now I also put that political aspect into it. Gore, okay, when you do this, how is it gonna help in the next 5 years?
yeah,
How is it gonna help create employment?
sure.
How is it gonna help creating, all sorts of things?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So that's how I think the impact of political awareness is helping me. Because, for instance, there was someone who needed help with starting a computer
Center.
center of some
Yeah,
sort.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, Chief, it's easy to do this, but you need to then think of it. I didn't have ideas then, but then I ended up, giving that person ideas. And
Sure.
there's a lot of things that you can do. I mean, for instance, which this one just came now. I'm thinking about it now. You can have like the likes of, we have Panyaza Sufi and his project
Yeah.
of is it the police, Nasi Span,
Crime prevention.
crime prevention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you have those people. How do you then put more people into work? You start. They're obviously patrolling in the street,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then if you get computer centers active in primary schools, and those people take care of the schools, they are the ones who are assisting the security in the schools to take care of. Then you can have like 4 people in a school. How many schools do we have in Davidson?
Oh,
We have a lot of schools.
plenty, bro.
So you have 4 people in the schools, and then you have the rest patrolling. Meaning you don't disturb the ones who are patrolling.
Yep.
Just
You
need
still
to,
keep them there.
you still
and then,
keep them there, and then you get the ones who are in schools.
Bro, you smart.
And then during the day, there are people who will be coming there. There are people who have computer certificates,
Yes.
but then they can't use them because they're unemployed. So even if it's for a young 500 rand for a week when you are still starting,
Yes.
or 2K a month, it would still make a
A
change.
huge impact, bro.
Exactly.
A
So
huge impact.
If we are given this is one thing that I want to say to everyone, Olinkokasi, and everyone who's trying to make something, is always do your research, always be willing to read, to learn, to attend events, to network with people, because there are things that we really, I didn't know some of the things that I learned when I got to Kenya. I didn't know that there is a certain portion of money that is just always there in our communities or to our councillors for art and recreation in a certain ward. I didn't know those things.
Bruh.
I didn't know that as cultural workers, people who are into any art form,
Yes.
there's money that is there for them to host events, to host 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I was willing to learn, read, do research, then I would be knowing those things. I can simply go to the councillor or write
Yes.
a proposal and say, I want to host an event, so. This is how it's assisting the youth.
Yep.
And they would give me the space, they would give me the money, and we're good to go. So through reading, through research, through willing to learn and networking with people, that is when we're going to do a lot of things and achieve. And also supporting each other.
Bruh, thanks for coming, man.
Ahoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Kgaogelo Leslie. So without even me asking him, bruh, what's the message you want to leave? He already left it, guys.
Aish.
That's how much smart of a guy he is. So before I let you go, bruh, you always need to plug yourself. Where can people find you? And where can people actually find Kanye College?
Okay. So,
Plug everything at once, Joe.
okay, I'll plug everything at once. Me, I'm found on all social media platforms.
Yes.
Facebook and Twitter at Kgaogelo Leso. And
Yes.
on Instagram, I'm found under the name of Peng J.
Okay.
__. That's because of some reasons locking myself out of the account.
__.
Yes, sir. And then now professionally, Kenya College, you'll find it at www.kenyacollege.org.za.
Yeah.
And Kenya College House of Movements on Facebook. We also at 123 Pritchard Street. And that's where you find the House of Movement. And it simply says itself, the House of Movement.
Yes.
And it's a space whereby you can learn. It's a space where you can find books. It's a space that is open for working class to come and other constituencies to come into and become one thing and fight the same problem.
Yeah.
So we're giving the space for people to learn. You can learn computers there. You can learn how to write articles.
All right.
We have a space where you can learn also how to do technical support.
Nice.
You can mention what you want to learn, and if it's doable, I'm sure there's not. I believe that all of us at Kanye, we were taught that nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible. So you can find us there on those places, and you will be able to learn all those things. And we also having events. So
Yes.
we push a lot of readings as Kanye.
Yes,
So
sir.
we have study groups throughout the whole year. We have JPF, and we also have the winter school.
All right.
And the winter school is one place that will sharpen your political awareness. because
Okay.
That's where we discuss. The winter school, it's a week-long event. So
Proper.
you already know you're going to be doing a lot of reading and writing and a lot of fun activities as well.
Proper.
So we then sharpen your political awareness
Yeah.
and how you should look at the world at large.
Sure.
So same as JPF, but JPF focuses on both communities and kids.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is IroC, and from my lips to God's ears, I hope that everyone becomes politically aware, and being politically aware, it's not by any means of tapping into like politics and being part of any political movement. Just a disclaimer that this episode is not sponsored by any movement organization mentioned here. It's all because of the great work that they've done either in my life or in Kgaogelo's life. And just like that, signing out. Peace.